Good day, everyone. Today we're going to talk about Trichuris Trichiura. So it includes its characteristics, morphology, life cycle, mode of transmission, disease, treatment, and prevention and control. So first is the characteristics. So Trichuris trichiura is also known as whipworm because of its characteristic whip-like shape. So it is also known as whipworm because it looks like a whip. So it is a soil transmitted ailment. And also it is an intestinal parasite of human. The larva and adult worms live in the intestine of humans and can cause intestinal disease. So it is a parasitic roundworm that causes trichuriasis. So trichuriasis is a parasitic disease caused by whipworm. Then it causes trichuriasis when it infects a human large intestine. So this parasite occur worldwide, but it is more common in warm and moist regions like tropics and subtropics. So the habitat of this parasite is adults reside in the large intestine, cecum, and appendix of the host. So the cecum and ascending colon are the most commonly infected sites. So in heavily infected individuals, infection can be present in more distal segments of the GI tract or the gastrointestinal tract, such as the descending colon and rectum. So it can also be present in the vermiform appendix and rectum. So the morphology. So what are the morphological characteristics of Trichuris trichiura? So the female worm is about 35 to 50 millimeter and the male worm measures 30 to 45 millimeters. So meaning the female worms are longer than males. So the posterior part of male is coiled, and then in female is either gamma shape or an arc shape. So makita sa figure nga ang male is coiled siya, and then sa female is more siya gamma. So the eggs of these parasites are lemon shape with plug-like translucent polar prominences 50 to 54 micrometer. So lemon shape siya with two terminal polar plugs. So the external layer of the shell of the egg is smooth and generally yellow-brown in color. So they are very small, so they have thick shells that can help them remain viable for months or years. So it containing unsegmented embryo. So next is the life cycle of Trichuriasis Trichuris trichiura. So the life cycle of this parasite is the adult worms are approximately 4 centimeter in length and live in the cecum and ascending colon. So the worm or the parasite is live in the cecum and ascending colon. So the adult worms are fixed in that location. So fixed na dira siya with the anterior portion treated into the mucosa. So after infection, the females begin to oviposit 60 to 70 days. So start na siya mangitlog. So female worms in the cecum shed between 3,000 and 20,000 eggs per day. So the lifespan of the adults is about 1 year. So here, sa first stage is the eggs exit with the feces and the soil can develop into a stage. Two-cell stage sa second stage na. And then the diagnostic stage is the unembryonated eggs pass in feces. That is the first stage. And then they then develop into an advanced cleavage stage from which they embryonate, become infective in 15 to 30 days. So after ingestion of soil contaminated hands or food, the eggs hatch in the small intestine and release larvae. So this larva is called rhabditiform. So larvae mature and establish themselves as adults in the colon without undergoing the venous pulmonary migration. So the worm takes about 3 months to fully develop and become sexually mature. So So, how this whipworm spread? So, whipworms live in our intestine, right? So, in whipworm, eggs are passed in the feces of infected person. So, if the infected person defecates outside patakaras like talibang, so or if the feces of an infected person are used as fertilizer, then eggs are deposited on the soil. They can then mature into a form that is infective. So the infective stage of this parasite is the ingestion of embryonated eggs, containing rhabditiform larva. And then diagnostic stage is an embryonated eggs pass in feces. And then the definitive host, so it has only one host, which is the man, and then there is no intermediate host is required. So mode of transmission, the foods, water, and soil contaminated with embryonated eggs are the sources of infection. So ingestion of embryonated eggs and the contaminated food and water. So, and also the last one is contaminated fingers during soil works. So diseases. So, people infected with whipworm can suffer light or heavy infections. So, people with light infections usually have no symptoms. So, wala din sila feel like asymptomatic siya. So, people with heavy infections can experience bloody diarrhea, emaciation, constipation, and then rectal prolapse can also occur. So if for example maka-feel mo gingana like dili mo kalibangon, and then nagkasakit inyong tiyan, then kanang niwang kayo mo, so wala bantay-bantay mo basin ba. So heavy infection in children can lead to severe anemia, growth retardation, and impaired cognitive development. So let's proceed to the treatment. So this Trichuris Trichiura is treatable. Treatable rin siya. So ang treatment is mebendazole, drug of choice for Trichuris. And then albendazole may be used as an alternative drugs. And then the combination of ivermectin and albendazole exhibit better cure in egg reduction rate than albendazole alone. So the prevention and control. So, poor hygiene is associated with trichuriasis transmission. So, and children are especially vulnerable because of their high exposure risk. So, it's recommended that the school health programs include deworming, health education, and improvement of hygiene conditions. So, sanitary disposal of feces, personal hygiene, food hygiene, treatment of infected faces, and then proper hand washing is one is one way to eradicate or to and eliminate. So that's all for today, and thank you so much for listening. So God bless everyone.